Boys, it is finally here and it is looking good. We have official details on everything coming to Verdansk in less than a week. We've had so many rumors and speculations and leaks, and now we all have official information via this blog post. And there are so many things that people hadn't even been leaking or talking about and things that we've been hoping for so long. We're going to rip through this video together. It is a lot, but there is so much good news that you're going to be happy to see is coming back to Warzone. I'm not going to give the cliche of Warzone is saved or Warzone is doomed, but comment down below as we go through this video. Let me know what you think about these changes because I'm pretty dang excited. April 3rd, 9 a.m. is when we're going to get Verdansk back. The day prior, however, we will have access to Black Ops 6 Season 3 on the day prior, and you can even unlock the Kilo 141 on that day and get it max level, so you can drop in with your max level meta loadout, Kilo 141, on day one of Verdansk. Welcome home. If you haven't seen some of the previews of the map does look incredible. It's very much true to form. All of the POIs are going to feel the same. They may add a couple things here or there for additional cover or better traversal, but they have higher res textures. They've improved the lighting, and as you can see, they've gotten rid of like that yellowish tinge, and it feels a lot more like summery and spring and not like grungy yellow stained like it was kind of back in the OG days. So there is so much to cover. Obviously, we have Verdansk coming back. They have new modes like Battle Royale Casual, High Trip LTM. We're going to have Ranked coming. They have whole bunch of new quality of life adjustments that we're going to talk about in detail. Specialist bonus is coming back. They have shooting during free fall coming back, so you can rip people out of the air. There's a lot. And vehicles. OG vehicles returning. So many good things. In this highly detailed blog, we break down the rebuilding process of Verdansk, a lengthy showcase of the game's features, the host of modes, event rewards, and initial weapon details, as well as how to prepare for launch. On top of that, if you didn't notice, at the very beginning here, it says this is a return to the game's initial Battle Royale roots, with back-to-basics gameplay and an authentic rebuilding of the big map, along with an impressive number of quality life improvements. So a lot of the more arcadey, crazy things that some of you may like or most of us didn't like, it's going to be a very true return to form of Verdansk 2020. Now, there is a big COD podcast here. They only teased at a few of the things. Everything is laid out inside of this video and more. So make sure to hang with me here. Feel free to listen at 1.5 or 2x speed. I would encourage you to watch, though, because there are so many cool visuals along with all of this. Now, inside of Warzone, one of the worst habits I see is people rotating late through the gas, and they don't realize the whole lobby can hear them hacking up a lung, and they just end up getting 180 turned on. Well, if you've got a bad habit in real life that's got you hacking up a lung, stop it. Get some help with the sponsor of today's video, Fume. You see, Fume is simply a flavored air device meant to help you break the bad habit of something like vaping. Instead of all that artificial chemicals and crap getting put into your body, Fume has no additives, no artificial flavors, no nicotine, no vapor, no combustion. It is simply flavored air. And with its premium design, whether you need something tactile to twist like the adjustable airflow dial, or you need something to chew on for that oral fixation, it can help you break that bad habit in a guilt-free way. Fume continues to invest in third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products. It's backed by doctors in the US, and they continue as well to develop more and more flavors, as you can see on the screen. So what are you waiting for? Stop hacking up a lung from the old nasty vape. Go to tryfume.com/IceManIsaac or scan the QR code on your screen and use code IceManIsaac to get your free Fume topper when you order your journey pack today. A huge shout out to Fume for continuing to sponsor this channel. When Verdansk returns on April 3rd, 2025, players who dropped in 5 years previously should instantly recognize the original map. This version of Verdansk has been painstakingly rebuilt from the ground up to give you the very best Battle Royale experience possible. That experience balances the immersion, adjusted movement mechanics, signature gameplay you remember from the original Call of Duty with one overriding goal: to relive classic and nostalgic Verdansk we all remember. Now, in that COD podcast, they mentioned that they are going to be creating a movement engine specific to Warzone. So it'll be still based off the Omni movement engine, but they're making tweaks to separate and delineate it from Black Ops 6 and make it a Warzone specific movement engine. Thank God. Okay. From exploring the rugged wilderness of the northern villages, military base and quarry, to the first time landing at superstore or hospital, to surviving your first 1v1 prison gulag, a great deal of work has gone into making Verdansk an exact, detailed, and authentic as an update as possible. In the most basic terms, this version of Verdansk is 95% a rebuilt version of Verdansk 2020, with around 5% of the map's landscape receiving light adjustments, quality of life improvements, And for example, like they mentioned how some of the ravines had some really bad like no man's lands. And so they would throw some like destroyed trucks in there to help provide pieces of cover so you can rotate the map. That was more not the map's soul, but more of their maybe say inexperience or, you know, mistakes designing the map in the first place. It is still very true to form. I have not played early. I'm not invited out to those playtests because I'm very critical of the game. So I'm not going to be gassing this up unless it's deserved. But so far, everything I'm hearing so far is deserving of the praise. Familiar, enhanced, and improved. It's the little things. Nostalgia hits, man. Nostalgia hits. The look and feel of Season 3 Verdansk will fall into one of three categories. Familiar. The map is rebuilt to be the same as the original, as you remember, about 95% of the play space. Enhanced. Just the same as Verdansk 2020 map with beneficial adjustments and improved. New elements within existing area based on the current game design with quality of life upgrades in mind. As you can see, like the game looks, in my opinion, like what we used to do with popping the saturation on our monitors or popping the saturation through like NVIDIA filters or digital vibrance. Like it doesn't look cartoonish like some of the Blackout games tend to have. Like it looks like a really good balance of MW 2019 just with some vibrance. Let's take a moment at some of these specific visual examples of these adjustments. Remember, these are mostly very subtle and designed to be beneficial without influencing the map's original combat flow. Note, in the following examples include comparison screenshots of the original Verdansk on the left and the new one on the right. They're indicated on each image. Otherwise, consider all imagery to be from the current version of Verdansk. Okay. So as you can see from the left off to the right, kind of how I mentioned, like everything having like this yellowish tinge. Maybe this isn't the best example. On the right is the newer. So all that like haze and fog, and I understand it's meant to be like realism, but now it is just crisp, clean, easy to see through sight lines. Like that makes a massive, massive difference. And there's that little pop of color as well. For the vast majority of the map structures, roadways, the scenery is one-to-one duplication as shown in the two examples above. Both the exterior section and the interior section of Superstore are pretty much identical, aside from the improved interior lighting and renumbering of the checkout area. I noticed that too. Other examples. OG Verdansk. I feel like they downscaled the quality here. Like, I don't feel like Verdansk looked that rough, but you can see the buildings are a little bit cleaner. It's like everything got a fresh coat of paint, a little bit more pop of color. Actually, wait, that's reversed. I feel like they used a super low res texture on this one. I actually like the left better. Okay, well, you guys decide. What do you like? I kind of like the look of like the brighter, vibrant. I understand that probably looks a little bit more realistic. But it is interesting to see that they're getting rid of some of the snow across the map as well. And it looks like as well, the rivers have gone from frozen to now a little bit of water. From my understanding, as you move through the map, this water is only going to be like shin height. So it's not going to affect your ability to prone. It's not going to allow you to like hide, but there's no swimming in the map outside of the very, very, very southern portion of the map out by the pier. I'm sure we'll get some more details lower through this blog. We're not going to read absolutely everything, but we'll try to rip through it. This is going to be a long blog post, but there's some cool stuff. The water is only ankle deep. This ground thaw extends across most of the map and changes on how you hear enemy footsteps as they splash through the water rather than a crunch through the ice. Also, look through the bridge arch to compare the understated improvements to the draw distance at longer ranges. Ooh. So they're saying like if you look back here, there is a better draw distance and they're not trying to like fog out and haze out the long distances as much. And also things like there's like trees in the background as well that are rendering in a little bit better that may not have rendered in the past. So I like more clarity. I like less of that atmospheric fog, and even up into the tree lines up here, you'll see how much more dense the tree lines are and how much easier it might be to see someone on that hilltop. Enhanced detail. Now here on the right, I would say is definitely better. The fire station was kind of a fluke for me. I just feel like they uploaded a low res image on that one, if I'm being completely honest with y'all. Over here on the right, absolutely brighter colors, better textures. Things are a lot cleaner. I wonder how it'll feel with all these little patches of water across the map and hearing foot splashings, if I'll like that immersion or if I won't. But again, the kind of yellowish tinge that was always throughout the entire map seems to be largely removed for a brighter feel as well. Improved access. So it looks like they've gotten rid of a lot of those awkward like double windows and stuff. Adding ladders. One thing that people don't think about in Verdansk is in Verdansk, originally, you could only jump and mantle things that were about like mid-chest height. So you couldn't do the MW2, grab onto a ledge and do a pull-up, whereas now, combined with their better map design, we should have a lot better map traversal than we would have originally had back in the old days. I'll bring my camera down here low so that way we can all see a little bit better and make sure I'm not blocking off any of the side-by-side comparisons, at least in this portion. But definitely better textures, much brighter. Again, getting rid of that yellowish tinge across the entire game. Everything kind of had that yellowish tinge. The Verdansk police stations, like the one in airport maintenance, have received art and clarity adjustments, including the top leftmost windows, which are now open. The bottom row for Storage Town, the roof of the building is less of an unfair power position as a ladder has been added to the exterior balcony. It allows you to reach a lot of places that beforehand you could only reach with a parachute. On top of that, I think they neglect to mention the fact that now you can do the pull-up will allow you to reach so many spots that my OG Verdansk jump spot videos allowed us to reach. Enhanced details everywhere. Wow. Okay. That's looking good. Car dealership is looking nice. Nice little ramp up there too. Oh, that's the first time I've seen that. Look how good the planes look. Look how good the planes look. Oh, I'm kind of cheesing about that one. The rest of the map looking clean. Airport hangars looking really nice as well. I really like the changes that they did to the lighting. We'll keep rolling through here. The coast, a new southern shoreline and Bunker 9 switchbacks. So this is all the way, that's like up by Promenade. This is way up on the northeast side of the map. Looks like they did add some traversal areas. Hopefully they did some things as well over in Quarry. You remember how many spots in Quarry where it would end up in the hills above Quarry and you couldn't mantle it up? It seems like they've added some switchback trails to allow you to traverse through that. If you guys want to, you can stop and read all this. For the sake of your time, I think we can infer a lot of things happening here. The old Verdansk helicopter, it would have made my day if they would have just put a helicopter just crashed into the windows just as a little tribute, but maybe that's selfish. The dam is still intact. It looks like it's probably going to be ice up top and then water down below. Lighting, again, all seems to be changed. Superstore looking bright and vibrant as ever. And then Quarry, I can't really tell quite from here, but it looks like maybe it's a little bit more navigable than beforehand. We'd have to kind of see how these hills over here are created. Train station will not be open at launch, but it's looking good. Dam looks like maybe that's some ice through there. I can't really tell. Minor details, as they mentioned, it's either going to be water or it's going to be ice. It's not going to be something that you can swim down in. There is going to be no modern water combat that we got with Warzone 2. That being said, as we notice from up here, you are able to get into the water up on the very, very, very north side of the map. That's where that little like statue tower was at by downtown. You still can swim through the water on that very, very south side of the map and zip up out of it or climb up through the beach. Airport tower, downtown. They will have the ascenders for a lot of these downtown buildings to allow you to traverse through it. And now getting granular. It's all in the details. Wow, the new stadium roof looks awesome. There's also new parachutes here. I wonder if they're going to talk about that because you have the green parachutes and you have the Warzone parachutes that are in blue. You also have the OG helicopter. Now that you've seen a variety of the limited and extremely subtle adjustments and quality of life improvements to the map, here's a general summary of what to expect in Season 3 for Verdansk as a whole. Trees aren't in precisely the exact spot as they were in the original map. Any parked vehicles that aren't drivable now look much more like smoldering wreckage, ensuring players can easily distinguish between immovable and actually usable. One of the biggest changes is the ability to swim, which wasn't originally possible. The southern combat zone has been extended out into the Castovian Sea, and the coastline is now accessible. However, this isn't critical to gameplay, and none of the rest of the map requires swimming. Thank God. Some of the more unforgiving areas of steep, rocky terrain have been adjusted so that mantling and traversal is easier, and goat trails are a little bit more prominent. Telephone and electrical poles have been slightly shortened in some areas to enable easier parachuting. W change. Other traversal points in areas that have disadvantaged some players have given minor adjustments, allowing routes to rooftops that may have originally been accessible only by parachute. It includes the addition of newly positioned ladders, also the new mantling. Doors can be barged through, are usually double hinged, so they swing in both directions, or can be easily shot or blown open. I mean, they said they built this map up, like rebuilt it, or like kind of re-envisioned it from the ground up, and hearing little stuff like that really excites me. While Ascenders weren't in the original Verdansk launch, they were originally added in Season 5 and aren't planned to arrive until later into Season 3 in Battle Royale matches. These have been test-fitted to numerous buildings to enable players to reach otherwise difficult-to-reach rooftops in preparation for them to return to the game mode. These aren't the original A-frame shape, but the newer L-frame shape that we have in Black Ops, allowing for much faster traversal from zip line to zip line. Available in Plunder at launch, they're scheduled to be bolted into rooftops and overhangs in Season 3, later in Season 3. Interesting. So we won't have the Ascenders until later into Season 3. So if you're fighting in downtown, get ready for Staircase Simulator, because it sounds like that's going to be coming back. The lighting of the exterior map, the draw distance at range, general visibility, and haze of the map has been adjusted to enhance clarity and minimize glare. The lighting of interiors have been adjusted to favor more immediate spotting of enemy operators. Nerf the Terminator skin. And the glare between exiting and entering interiors has been reduced. There was like this mechanic where like every time you entered a building, it's like they had a real-time pupil dilation engine where you would walk into a building and everything would be pitch black and then your eyes would adjust. And then you would walk outside and it would be blinding and then it would adjust. Just thank goodness. Or a way to put it, minimizing the advantage of hiding in dark corners while wearing a Terminator skin. Detail art passes and scenery enhancements have been added for the areas to that can benefit from it, such as additional exterior details to the fire stations, extra detritus. I'll be honest, that's a new word for me. And this also extends to additional scattered wreckage players can use as cover. I think it's an amazing change. There are no redeploy balloons, so you're going to have the more classic Battle Royale rotations where vehicles are going to matter a lot for getting held, but you still need some, hard cover that you can use to traverse those no man's land. So I think that's a great change. The HUD compass text font at the top of the screen has been updated to match the current graphic interface, and the user interface has been simplified, and there's more on that later in the blog. Let's get into it. Verdansk is back. You're headed to the war zone. With the arrival of the most important map in Call of Duty Warzone's history, this has resulted in the return to many fan favorite features, numerous back-to-basics gameplay elements that harken back to the first iteration of the game, along with the latest and current fan favorite mechanics, all without sacrificing what has made Verdansk so special in the first place. Call of Duty Omni Movement adjustments. This will happen at launch. The introduction of Black Ops 6's Omni Movement has been a major stepping stone for the game, establishing a new foundation for player movement. Initially, Call of Duty Warzone adopted the movement values directly from multiplayer with good intent, but adjustments are needed to better align with the unique demands of Warzone's map and engagement playstyles. Thank goodness. I was ripping them apart about this whenever Black Ops 6 launched because they wanted it to feel one-to-one from Black Ops 6 multiplayer, and I've been beating my head against the wall for 6 months waiting for them to change, and thank goodness. Season 3 serves as an opportunity to fine-tune player movement by slightly scaling back some of the speed increases introduced over the past several months. These adjustments bring movement more in line with what players experienced in early days of Warzone. That doesn't make me super happy because actually it was some of the delays from Omni Movement that were driving me crazy, and it sounds like they're slowing us down. Additionally, we'll see what those movement changes are going to look like. Because I actually really missed the MW3 days when we had default perks like climbing boots. You could mantle a lot faster back in MW3, and we've lost that. Additionally, changes are being made to omni-sprint speed scaling and slide friction to address the strength of strafe engagements while preserving the feel of sprint strafe reloading and general movement. Okay, so they are scaling and slowing back the game a bit, which I think for the average player is actually probably a good thing. And as someone who's been playing and enjoying PUBG a lot, I might have to shift my mind to enjoy the more... I think it's going to be a good balance, because with everything else returning back to that like grounded basics, you don't feel like you're going to need to be laced up on caffeine and Adderall to hang in these lobbies, especially with, you know, skill-based matchmaking as cranked as it is. If the game can be a little bit more focused on team coordination and rotations while still feeling arcadey and fun like it did back in 2019, but not going to the extent of Warzone 2.0 bored out of my skull, but not going as far as Black Ops 6, Omni Movement, Meth Head, and going back to like that middle ground. I think I see where they're going here, and I think especially for the average player returning, I think it could be nice. Like I said, I've been playing a lot of PUBG, which is a lot slower of a battle royale, and I've enjoyed those more deliberate, but I don't want it to get clunky. So we are going to be back to 150 players, the original announcer, original cinematics, and you can shoot during infill. 150 player battle royale. The hot drops will never have felt hotter, and 30 additional rivals ensure you have targets to acquire all the way to the final circle. Thank goodness. Radioing in from Joint Operations Base, the original announcer, sometimes known as the UK team leader, with a similar accent to Captain Price, is back, and so is the jostling for position before the drop out of the cargo plane. Because if you remember, you would walk into the cargo plane whenever you were walking out, and you would kind of like bump shoulders with your teammates. Shooting during free fall, on your way down from an infill, or return from the after action success in a gulag, or a drop from a heli, or an airborne descent from a high building, you're able to switch between the gentle glide of a parachute to a free fall plummet, which is optimal if you want to clear the skies of enemies dropping in. Now, back in 2019, you could drop in with a pistol or your gulag weapon. I don't think there was ever a way that you could shoot with like an AR in Verdansk. I don't think that came into being until we had redeploy balloons back in Caldera. So we'll have to, I could be wrong. It sounds like you could use, I wonder if it's going to limit you only to your 9mm pistol. Draw your starting weapon. I wonder what happens when you redeploy from a helicopter or an airborne descent from a high building. Like if I get hit from the top ropes by someone clotheslining me with a kilo, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. And then we'll have the infill and exfil cinematics as well. The giant cargo plane, the classic flying through the clouds. Nice. Nice. Crates, armor satchel, looting, loadouts, high value loot zones. This will be both at launch and mid-season. They're going to be bringing back the OG supply crates. Trying to see how they're trying to visualize this here, but it looks like, okay, they're just giving us 3 different POVs of it. The original supply box colors, once you're on the ground, it's time to loot. You're likely to hear the familiar original hum of a supply box. Yes! The crates themselves are the original ones, the gray colored crates, and the more legendary orange crates, along with special supply crates with yellow markings that are accessed during scavenger contracts. Floating loot. It looks like the floating loot has a much finer stroke or outline around the outside of the weapons. It's not going to be a really obnoxious glow, which should be nice, so that way you don't have people like hiding behind the obnoxious UI, but things will still be easier to pick up and not be glitching into textures inside of the map. As expected, ground loot, whether from a buy station supply crate or after inspecting a down foe, is color-coded based on rarity and now springs out of the crate in various directions and floats a few inches off the ground, just as it did originally. No more MW2 looting every single bookshelf, having to prone out so you can grab something under a bookshelf. That's gone. Current reusable supply box, the darker blue supply boxes that are refilled, are also available across Verdansk. The original armor satchel, first added during Season 3, is also back, enabling 8 armor plates to be carried instead of the normal 5 without the satchel. The armor satchel is found in supply crates. So that means they're probably going to be getting rid of the Black Ops 6 armor satchel that allows you to carry 12. Yes, it takes the place of the original satchel. All other satchels types are removed. Yes, that's actually one of the most exciting things, because right now we have the munition satchel, I think is what it's called, where it allows you to carry like 3 frag grenades. So then you could just throw 3 frag grenades, throw down a munitions box, throw down 3 more frag grenades, and it's basically like a backpack with extra steps. They're getting rid of it. Thank God. Current loot pool. Current loot pool interface, current loadout settings, launch. Exact type of loot you find on the ground from fallen enemies and in crates are based on the selection of armaments you can choose from the currently available Call of Duty Warzone. This includes weapons, primary pistols, tacticals, lethals, melee, etc. For available kill streaks and field upgrades, it's based on what was available originally. So we're going to have all of the guns that we currently have available to play inside of MW 2019. So we're going to use MW3 guns, MW2 guns, and Black Ops 6 guns on top of the new guns, which we'll talk about here in a moment. Current loot user interface. Each item you look at has the current GUI system applied to it, allowing for a simple to look at rarity value for attachments for rare blueprints. Current loadouts and perks. Before Intel to Verdansk, you're able to create multiple custom loadouts as normal use in match with a full selection of the weapons we mentioned here. This includes all the other stuff we mentioned here. Now, one thing they're going to talk about later, there's also, for those of you who don't have your guns leveled up, maybe you haven't touched Verdansk in a long time, they have some amazing options for you guys to feel like you'll have meta loadouts, even though you haven't been grinding the game. High value loot zones. Launch in mid-season. Why do they look so short compared to the loadout crate? Maybe this is just a render. Do they make loadout crates like... Because normally loadout crates are like here. And like you can kind of head glitch them. Did they make loadout crates taller? Introduced during Modern Warfare 3 and now coming to Verdansk, recognizable points of interest across the map may now be identified as high value loot zones. Get there before the enemy and you'll be rewarded with higher tier loot than normal, with gear sometimes related to the POI it appears in. Gear sometimes related to the POI it appears in. I'm trying to think, comment down below if you guys have any ideas on this. Like, what kind of loot would Superstore have? I mean, maybe Police Station has, I mean, everything's a military inspired weapon though. Like, what would Airport have? Maybe like a downtown hot drop would have a sniper, since it's, you know, buildings. Maybe like military base would have like RPGs or javelins. We'll see. Ideally, it appears on the minimap, because right now the high tier loot zones inside of Black Ops 6 Warzone is like you just land at a random spot and you just happen to see a bunch of orange crates. I like when there's like a dedicated hot drop for that map that people can land at, because it's like a special event for that map, right? As opposed to every single map always having the same hot drops. This looting meta also gets a significant update mid-season as additional zones within named POIs begin to appear across Verdansk. Okay. Buy stations. Original buy station inventory, original buy station placement. You can barely see it. I'm sure they're going to show it later. The vertical UI is back. It's time to remember your muscle memory and remember where all the Verdansk buy stations originally appeared, as these equipment hubs appear semi-randomly across Verdansk in the same places they spawned originally. I don't like random buy stations. I don't know. I hate having like, oh, we can rotate here and buy them back, but then it's not there that game. I don't like that. Near the comms tower, just south of TV station. Yep, and the parking lot of Superstore. These are just two of the placements from the dozens of possible buy station locations. Expect a subset of total buy station placements to appear during each match. I wish they would just keep it consistent. Oh, they're bringing back the OG plate icon too. OG plate icon. They're bringing back the original like airstrike. Or no, the original airstrike was a fatter tablet. I think they did adjust that one, which I think is a nice change. I see the current LTV, which I hate that thing. I like the MW2 LTV better, and I like the Verdansk SUV better. I hate that thing. It's like impossible to shoot through. I know vehicles are important and all, but I don't like that vehicle. I would much rather have the traditional SUV. Maybe from a competitive perspective, it's better because you can't get ripped out of it as easier, which will allow you to rotate. But personal preference here. Interact with the buy station. You'll discover pretty much identical to the original inventory interface, even down to the vertical list of purchases. The actual inventory you can purchase has also been scaled back to match that of the original Verdansk. The only balloons you can buy now are plunder related. Awesome. There's additional buy station items in plunder. Cool. So you couldn't really see it too well, but right here above my head, you can see everything is infinite. Infinite. So there's no limited amount of things you can buy. There is a quality of life where you can press X and it will buy back all of your teammates. There is an ability as well that it can, let's say you only have money for 2 out of 3 of your teammates, it will buy back 2 out of 3. Hopefully the logic of that is it buys back the 2 that have the most cash. I don't know if they would have coded that logic into the game, but you will only have cluster strike, gas mask, armor box, UAV, self-revive, munitions box, and loadout. So you cannot buy an airstrike, and munitions boxes are $5,000 as opposed to $2,000 right now, which is resulting in a lot of lethal spam. Self-revives are $4,500 as opposed to $4,000. UAVs are $4,000 instead of $6,000. And you cannot buy an airstrike. But it looks like the loadouts are $15,000. I think at one point it was $10,000 for every mode. We'll have to see. Specialist perk, one of the most important things from the current iteration, is going to be added back into the buy station inventories at the reloaded update, but perhaps it's hidden elsewhere. Bring back Nakatomi, please. Equipment, general tacticals, lethals, launch and mid-season. I hope they get rid of it. There's so many annoying ones, especially tear gas and shock sticks and impact nades. Shit. I see an impact nade on his chest. I think that's an impact nade. I'm pretty sure that's what that is, but that could just be a skin design. Oh, retro refresh. Munitions and equipment available as floating loot. Take the appearance of the items you originally remember. Nice. The pool of lethal and tactical equipment has been adjusted to closer reflect what was originally available when players first dropped. The list is followed. Munitions, heartbeat, deployable cover, PDS, which is nice because that was only added in Caldera, trophy system, loadout drop, armor box, recon drone. No signal jammers. No portable redeploy drones. I'm trying to think if there were any other annoying field upgrades. There are a lot of field upgrades that I never even touched. Okay, Killstreaks, UAV, advanced UAV, precision, cluster, and they did keep the bunker buster. I hate the visual effect of the bunker buster when you're getting hit by the gas. All right. Flashbang, smoke grenade, concussion grenade, which is a stun grenade, but it was called a stun back in 2019. Decoy, snapshot, stim, frag grenade, Simtex grenade, C4, spring mine, Molotov, throwing knife. So impact grenades are gone. Wait. Gas grenades are gone. Impacts and gas grenades are gone. Thank God. Spring mines. Make it to where you can prone underneath a spring mine again. You used to be able to prone underneath proximity mines back in MW 2019. Spring mines go off so fast, they're basically an instant kill. Where are the claymores? I would much rather have claymores over spring mines. Claymores only affect one area, a limited radius. But either way, I'm so happy they got rid of gas grenades and impact nades. Let me know. Am I missing anything? I'm going to look down in the comments. Is there anything in here that I missed that you are happy is gone? Because I'm sure there's things that I'm missing here that are super annoying. Let me know down in the comments. Note, not all the field upgrades Killstreaks will be available in Verdansk at launch. Expect additional content. So field upgrades and Killstreaks. So they're probably not going to have like bunker busters available at launch. Expect additional content within these equipment types at mid-season across future seasons. Remember, this is the retro refresh is for items appearing as floating loot within a match. Equipment you use with a visual component holding a heartbeat, for example, will reflect the current Black Ops 6 model. Returning lethal, the thermite. They got rid of it. It was crazy, crazy powerful. It is coming back. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. SUV. Whether you're preventing enemies from entering a tenement block doorway or running a sticky incendiary takedown that damages over time, the thermite is likely to be a game changer. Though not guaranteed to down an opponent, thermite is extremely effective at burning enemies as well as vehicles with an explosive finish. That's awesome. Thermites were crazy powerful beforehand because you could just spam them into windows and spam them into doorways. Obviously, it was more of an issue when people had satchels that allowed them to carry like 3 of them and instantly restock them with ammunition crates, only costing $2,000. So cool. I think it's good. It's good to be back. Equipment. Heartbeat sensor, deployable, recon, ammo box. See if there's any changes in here. They made it again to where the box can act as an explosive device if fired at or close to another detonation. That used to be a thing. You could throw down a box and shoot it, and it would basically be like an additional frag grenade, or if you saw a team hitting it, you could shoot it and it would blow up and hit the entire team. Deployable cover is standard. The baby monitor. Limited use tablet. Okay, so that sounds like they're actually going to be enacting the battery. This device is no longer a tactical. It is a field upgrade and uses the more upgraded awareness system with faster detection at greater distances, which I think is fine, especially with limited use. Munitions box. It refills your primary, secondary, tactical, lethal. It will act as an explosive if fired upon. Recon drone. Marks enemies. It cannot mark enemies with cold-blooded and is easily shot down. And the trophy system only destroys 3 pieces of equipment, because I think the trophy system at one point there for a bit was like taking out like 8. I think it was bugged. It was taking out so many pieces of equipment inside of Warzone. Is the Big Bertha meta back? Returning field upgrades, PDS, mid-season. Equipment Killstreaks, original cluster. So that would be not the one that the current mortar strike is like boom, 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 boom in the same spot. I think the original cluster was like a wave of 3, if I remember correctly. The original Killstreaks echoes that available back in 2020. Same thing with advanced UAVs. The advanced UAV is only available through 3 consecutive UAVs. All Killstreaks are available at the buy station. Yep, I guessed right about that. Bunker Buster is coming back mid-season. Awesome. They are bringing back some of the OG contracts as well. So 3 of the contracts currently available in Warzone are confirmed for Verdansk. We're going to have the Bounty, we're going to have Most Wanted, and we're going to have Scavenger coming back. But they're going to bring back the original recon, not like the hacking where you have to go into that little terminal, just the thing where you boom, hit it, flare goes up, and you stand inside of a radius. Find the rugged tablet with the flag icon and activate this to update your TAC map and advance to an objective marker. You and your squad need to stand within a small radius around the objective, a comm station, and upload data. The more squad mates that are nearby, the quicker the capture. Complete the upload for loot. And cache, along with a peek at the next safe area via the yellow circle on your TAC map. Just be aware, there's a flare fired skyward you're capturing, which can attract rivals. But the results are worth it, especially finishing multiple recon stacks the reward, as you can see several safe areas. Once again, going back to that classic BR style of trying to get nonstop wins and rotating like tactically, as opposed to just taking a redeploy and landing on top of a building somewhere. That's really nice for those of you who want to play for the dub in a more classic BR sense. Supply run, it's coming back. Pinpoint a tablet with a timer icon and activate the supply run contract, which marks out a specific buy station for you and your squad to reach within an allotted time. Get to for a cash reward, and you get fire sale prices upon completing a supply run. So that's the one where you would grab it, you would drive across the map, and once you got within a 5-meter radius of a buy station, the supply run would be finished, and then you would get like a free buyback or a free self-revive or fire sale prices on other things. A really nice thing that you can do to regain. Returning feature, contract multipliers. So contract payouts have increased. That's going to be, it's a current like LTM, kind of like a fire sale. It's just contract multiplier. That's in the game as well. You'll receive an additional 30% of a bonus payout. Oh, wait, no, this is something else. This is like the OG contract multiplier. Keep an eye out on completing contracts throughout the entire match, as the original contract multiplier system is back. This was when you would, like, every single time you completed a new contract, it would stack and stack and stack. Oh my gosh. This is an additional additive bonus to each completed contract after the first one, which increases every time you or your squad successfully completes a contract. Need cash fast and consider the following. Complete more than one contract for the additional bonus money. The type of contract isn't important. Finish any contract. Each contract after that receives a bonus 30% to its cash payout. This, especially if you're wanting to play aggressive, just do bounty to bounty to bounty to bounty. Now you're stacking up crazy cash. Not only are you getting bounty information of where someone's at, you get the bonus cash, which then gives you UAVs for more information on more kills. Oh my God, thank God. It is capped after you finish the 5th contract. Heck yeah. Returning contracts, big game bounty. And the train recon is returning mid-season. 20-second advanced UAV for the big game, and then the recon, which stays on top of the train. People can just sit there and farm the train recon over and over. In-game matches will have the original fire sale, jailbreak, loadout drop, and restock. That's all pretty self-explanatory. The original capture the flag variant, I like this better than the repel. So basically, if you're holding down that power position, you can capture the flag. Hopefully the cap isn't extremely fast like it was. It used to be like 1 second or like half a second and you would capture it. But that's going to be back to the OG roots. So fight for that power position and hold it. Verdansk vehicles and rebalancing, heli, cargo truck, LTV, Polaris Razor Pro R4, a hashtag ad, and ATV. As the topography of Verdansk sometimes favors rapid transportation across the map and dangerous open terrain, it's worth test driving 5 different vehicles coming to Big Map, including the return of a fan favorite helicopter. Yo, Big Bertha got a facelift. They redesigned the Bertha. ATV, SUV, Big Bertha, the Polaris Razor, and then the heli. So the Polaris Razor is basically a tack rover. All vehicles are available in the same set of locations as the original map. So if you want to land at your fire station, get your Big Bertha, you can. Additionally, there are no tire punctures, thank God, or fuel refilling to worry about. Each vehicle has a health meter. When it reaches 0, it explodes and flames out just as it originally did. Interesting. So I wonder, because in the game right now, when a vehicle can reach a disabled state, and then it'll flame out and then it'll blow up. So I'm wondering if we're going to have those, like, you throw a C4 and your vehicle goes from full health to everyone inside dead instantly. Or if there will be a disabled mechanic. All vehicles are receiving a tuning pass. This rebalancing is designed to ensure these handle and steer in the spirit of the original iteration of the game with more rapid acceleration and handling. Dude, like, these changes are all amazing and I'm so happy, and I'm not like celebrating them of like I am celebrating them and I'm celebrating the return to form, but it's also like, why the hell did we stray so far? Like, I want to be excited and I want to, and I am excited, but it's just so much of this is like, can we just get one, just put it down here in like size 2 font, like, yo, sorry, we really messed up. The heli, the OG heli is back, and maybe the OG helicopter tours t-shirt from the IceManIsaac merch line, might be coming back. So keep an eye out for that. A stalwart aircraft for maneuvering across the map with haste and rotor blades that can double as slicing and dicing implements. The helicopter allows 4 players, including the pilot, to rule the skies, providing they aren't downed by an enemy missile or sniper fire. Dropping out of an airborne helicopter and using it as a blunt explosive implement is also a favored tactic. Shout out, booyah. The cargo truck, she's back. Big Bertha. One thing they did at one point was they made the Bertha shut down in solos. If any dev is watching this and wants to pass it along, I thought that was a great idea. It was like 6th or 7th circle. I think they made Berthas and helicopters shut down. Or I think at one point they just removed Berthas from solos altogether because it was just an end game of people driving around Berthas. I'm open to that change. Or like helicopters, since there was no fuel, there were no helicopters in solos because people would just camp up high. I don't think necessarily you should remove them, but I think you definitely should disable them after a certain zone. This heavyweight truck is slow to accelerate, lacks the swift e-braking and steering maneuvers, but can really take a pounding in the damage department. Interesting. Okay, so it's not a true to form vehicle like they mentioned right above. That's kind of contradictory. The LTV, light tactical vehicle. This thing's so hard to shoot through, bro. I like the OG SUV better. I understand this is more fitting for the environment, but taking the place of the SUV is a retuned LTV. This workhorse offers a mix of protection and speed and can be swung around tight corners with a well-timed e-brake and enough previous acceleration. It also has a reasonable uphill and off-road terrain prowess. You're guaranteed to find one at the Promenade car dealership. As the player base gets sweatier and sweatier and people start shooting better and better, you know, the OG SUVs you could rotate safely in, but if you were to rotate in an OG SUV with today's players, you would get absolutely freaking laced. So I think this is the right change. I just hope it drives better. I hate the way it drives. And it is so dang hard to shoot through if I'm being honest. Polaris Razor, it's attack rover. We already know how this thing drives. Even in the current state of the game, it drives pretty nice. ATV, same thing. The circle collapse pacing. The collapsing circle of acrid gas that suffocates stragglers. Ooh. Look in the back, boys. Look how, if you remember the OG Verdansk, the gas used to not only be so thick outside of the gas that you couldn't see, like someone could be rotating in from the gas and they would be hidden inside of the gas, but it would even over creep into the current safe zone and you would have a cloud of gas in the current safe zone obscuring players who were in the mode. I hated that. That is one thing I hope doesn't return, because everything else right now has been about visibility, and I hope that doesn't come back. Suffocates stragglers and forces operators to rotate in. Okay. Expect loadout drops on the 2nd and 5th circle. Wide variety of final locations. Though dead zones, in-game areas which lack cover of maneuvering choices are being minimized to lessen matches that conclude, like the infamous Verdansk stadium engagements, where it's almost impossible to take out the team that's posted up on the roof. So yeah, I think at the beginning of Verdansk, they had RNG. They didn't have like a logic for where the final circles were, but now they have like a set number of end zones. There's a lot of them, but you can, that's why sometimes it feels like, oh, I've played this end zone before. It's because they have calculated in ways to prevent awkward end zones. Hopefully they don't fuck up the visibility. Map interactive elements. Vertical ascenders are going to launch mid-season, both the internal ones and the external ones. Interior ascenders, hopefully they allow you to jump off of them and like float down inside of the elevator shaft, because I don't like it when they like force you into an animation all the way up, all the way down, because it's almost a guaranteed death trap. Like you're halfway up the ascender and you just see the lasers from like 2 claymores pointing out. Exterior ascenders, they're doing the L-shaped ones that they currently have, but they were added in the OG Verdansk. Just later on, we do get them off of launch. To maintain the classic feel of Verdansk, expect no exterior ascenders to be available at launch. Expect in a very few particular areas where a rival team could exploit the verticality of a building to reach a power. They say except in a few very particular areas. For example, probably the top downtown buildings. We can see them here up on top of airport. Maybe they would allow that. I think there needs to be some exterior ones outside of air traffic control, because right now air traffic control only has that one central one, and it used to be so easy to camp inside of air traffic control. So hopefully that's some of the spots that they put them in. Yes, that means the stadium will be getting ascenders. Thank goodness. Almost everywhere else, the gameplay will be focused on other means of traversal, just as it did 5 years ago. Please add them to ATC. Original train station interior will be coming mid-season. The original moving train will be coming mid-season. Blank interior access. New areas, both on the surface and within the subterranean across Verdansk, are being actively monitored for signs of blank. Additionally, partially redacted reports of blank that haven't been seen are also tracking intel that subway station within subterranean. My guess would be subway stations. The subway stations that allowed you to teleport across the map. Here we can see it. Quality of life updates. Oh, that's really sick. Affected by unsuppressed weapon, live ping, recon drone. Oh my God, that is so good. That is so good. Because the amount of people, don't get me wrong, cheating is horrible in this game, but the amount of people that are like, how did you know I was there? How did you, you know, and it says like, affected by heartbeat sensor, affected by live ping, affected by shooting an unsuppressed weapon, or affected by UAV. Like, that'll be sick. Squad redeploy at buy stations. We mentioned that earlier. There's a redeploy all button. Weapon inspect. Whenever you inspect a weapon, it will give you a full up list of all the attachments. So that way you don't have to try to figure it out for yourself by like looking at the loadout icons. If you pick up a gun, you really like the way it shoots, boom. Prioritize favorite loadout in gunsmith. Well, we've already had that in the past. TAC, preferred loadout. You can set it to favorite in the loadout options. That loadout option is moved to the top of the list. We've already had that. TAC map zoom and centering settings. New TAC map settings under the map assist offer improved control options. Auto zoom and center. Auto center. Zoom center once. Center off. Giving players flexibility on how their map behaves. So, you know, sometimes you would open up the mini map and you'd have to like drag it and then zoom in onto yourself, or you'd have to open up the mini map and then click L3 so it would center up on yourself. Now, there are default things where it'll auto do that for you every time you open up a map, which I think is an incredible change that I'm surprised we haven't had, but that's awesome. Detailed death recap widget. So attackers, it'll show you how many shots you got hit by and the amount of damage done. We already have that. It'll show you what you were affected by. So if you were shooting an unsuppressed weapon, if you were live ping, if you were tagged by a recon drone, UAV, yeah, affected by UAV, unsuppressed weapon, live ping, list of attackers. That's awesome. I think that's really cool and will help out with the delusion of the tinfoil hat community. Hackers are still horrible, but most of the time you just got gunned. Updated squad widget. Field upgrades at launch. So as we can see, you can see everything that your teammates have. You can see their plates, whether they have a gas mask, what field upgrade they're currently holding, whether they have a Gulag, and then what kill streak they currently have as well. Amazing change, especially since so much stuff is simplified. There's not a lot of crap to throw on there. I think that's awesome. And no backpacks. Ping duration settings. A new setting is added that lets you control how long pings stay on your screen. Choose from multiple options to make pings disappear quickly or remain visible for longer. Hopefully that doesn't apply to live pings. Secrets of Verdansk redacted content. You really know Verdansk inside and out. Between March 2020 and December 2021, where Verdansk was an active map, investigations across the combat zone began to reveal a host of hidden items, communications, and evidence, much of it well hidden away from prying eyes. Upon your return to Verdansk, it's well worth your time checking out out-of-the-way places, searching for clues, and finding blank, allowing you to blank both old and new. Finding Easter eggs, allowing you to access secret areas, both old and new. With a wealth of history over the last 5 years, bunkers opening up, something, including tracking than ever before. Easter egg races I don't know. Cool. Maps, modes, events, initial weapon details. Cool. They're bringing back the OG loot. They're bringing back some of the OG iconography and starting loading screens. It's a fond farewell to Urzikstan, as players wanting to drop into the current big map have around 1 week to go before it is retired. Now, I don't think it needs to be retired forever. I think it would be cool maybe 6 months from now where we have Verdansk available permanently and then we rotate in some new maps, maybe Al-Mazrah for a month, Caldera for a month, Urzikstan for a month. Like, never let Verdansk go. But, you know, like I play PUBG and they have like 5 rotating big maps. Like, can we get 2 rotating big maps with Verdansk steady? Hey. It's au revoir, but not goodbye to Area 99 as the Nevada test site goes on a hiatus for a limited time. Whoa. So when they say retired, they make it sound like it's gone. And this is like, we'll see you later, but you're going to come back in the future. It makes it sound like they're just nuking Urzikstan and they're never going to see it again. I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Honestly, I just want to see Al-Mazrah again. Al-Mazrah was a good map with a crap like movement system. I would love to play Al-Mazrah on a good movement system. Returning maps. Verdansk, Rebirth Island. Those are both going to be coming in. Okay, modes. Battle Royale. 25-minute matches as opposed to like the reduced at one point, I think it was like 18-minute matches. God, the colors look so good, man. The textures and everything. Like, God, this looks good. The original loadout, the original icons too. Battle Royale casual. 148 players and bots, 28 real players, and up to 120 bots. So that's going to be kind of similar. Like right now, if you were to play, there's a mode called Warzone Bootcamp. It's kind of the same. It's a lot of bots. There are some real players in there. Expect some TikTok Y-wires to be farming clips in this mode, acting like they're cracked when all reality they couldn't shoot back in another lobby. I think that's great though for the average player. Honestly, if they made it a only bots and then you and your squad just wanted to play for fun, I think people would actually enjoy that. I think the fact that it's a limited amount of players, you know, not everyone wants to roll in and just get slammed by cheaters or SBMM and they just want to vibe. So I think it's a great addition. I think it'd just be cool if there's some special iconography or something to show that you're actually shooting against bots and not trying to farm TikTok clips. Loot, upgrade, survive with new kind of battle royale opponent. Face off against 149 human opponents. But if you need to build your confidence, go to battle royale casual. Expect the same rules, but only 27 other players who may or may not be experiencing skill issues of varying severity. Giving you a chance to warm up like boot camp. It won't count towards any of your stats, but it's a great way to vibe out. Honestly, sometimes like I'm deep into a stream and I just want to knock back some beers with the boys. And I love playing modes like this. Plunder's coming back. Cool. Have fun. Not really a mode for me. Great way to level up your guns. And then they're going to have Warzone Bootcamp, which is only 44 players and basically like a mini Royale. And you only collect around 50% of normal XP. It seems redundant to me. I don't think they need to have both. They're going to have Resurgence. Battle Royale ranked play will be coming mid-season. We've never had ranked on Warzone before. And I'm actually really excited to see how this plays with the more grounded VR experience. 150 player ranked play too. Yikes, there's gonna be a lot of cheaters in those lobbies. Okay, more modes at the midseason. They're gonna have the LTM High Trip Massive Resurgence on Verdansk, which would be awesome. I actually really enjoyed that mode. It's a fun, quirky LTM mode. I think it'll be a lot of fun. The Return to Verdansk free event. Total rewards of 20, including up to 6 instant unlocks for new and veteran players. Reassemble the squad and drop back into your former stomping grounds for an exciting homecoming. The celebration takes the form of a series of challenges scattered across 12 distinct event-only zones within Verdansk. Awesome. Kind of encouraging you to see all the POIs. You got to find hidden safes, get exclusive rewards, and you get a special operator skin. Potentially if you find it. It's kind of cool. He has like a whole bunch of like patches signifying different areas of the map. This is sick. Oh my God. Finally, we have different trails. We've only had one other different trail in the game's history. And now we have blue ones. Little IceManIsaac blue. And I use topographic in so much of my stuff too. Looks like we're gonna have blue contrails, gun screens, blue parachutes, and instant operator rewards as well. So 6 rewards you automatically unlock just for accessing. You get the Kilo, you get the operator, these 2 operators, MW19 operators. You get the blue contrail, the blue parachute, and the blue gun screen. You get all 3 of these at launch. All 6 of these at launch. That's awesome. as we mentioned earlier, you can access the Kilo 141 in Verdansk, or so on April 2nd, the day before Verdansk launches. If you try to launch the Warzone app on April 2nd, Warzone will be down. It'll be down for server maintenance. But if you try to enter the app, it will unlock for you the Kilo 141 that you then can use inside of Black Ops 6 and level that up so that way you can have it ready for the next day. I think it'd be cool if they had an option inside the settings menu where you could toggle it and every operator that you went against only was milsim. So I don't have to run around looking at bunny skins and Ninja Turtle skins. Like if I toggle that, every skin is either the same milsim operator or an assortment of milsim operators, none of which would be a pay-to-win skin like a Rose skin or a Terminator skin, and it would keep me more immersed, per se, if that's the feel that I want, and I think a lot of players do want. Explore. Oh, that's a sick graphic. So you would explore, you have to find those crates inside those areas. I'll probably give you guys a guide, either a TikTok or a YouTube short. If they are set up in set locations, I'll tell you where those safe locations are. So make sure to subscribe here so you don't have to hunt the entire map yourself. I'll be like, hey, it's inside a storage town, inside of this specific garage. I'll let you know. But you get individual loading screens, skins, and then if you end up maxing it out, you get the Cali sticks, which hopefully aren't a 2-hit kill like they were back in OG Verdansk. Keep in mind, OG Verdansk, you only had 100 base health and then 150 with plates. Now we'll have 150, 150. Find the hidden safes. We already talked about that. Each safe can only be opened once. When opened, expect an explosive indication that the safe has been cracked. There are multiple safes across each zone. Okay. So you and your squad can open as many hidden safes as you can find during a match. Okay. Event zone unlocks. We'll kind of rip through all this. Those are all the things you can unlock. The master reward is going to be the Cali sticks as well as the special operator skin right there. The Kilo 141. God, it looks so good. There are 42 levels. There's also the CR56 AMAX. Obviously, we know about all these guns. 42 levels to it. Shoots 7.62 by 39. They are going to be adding the HDR. Let's see if it mentions it. One-shot kills. One-shot kills. Anti-material bolt action sniper rifle chambered in 12.7. Bullets have lower muzzle velocity, but remain devastating even at very long ranges. So in the COD podcast that we mentioned earlier, they did say, he's like, yeah, if you can hit a 500 meter snipe and you get that headshot, you'll get the kill. So it sounds like one-shot sniping is still going to be a thing, but the bullets have lower bullet velocity. I know a lot of people won't like that, but honestly, I was looking back at some of my OG clips. The HDR was literally just point and shoot and damn near hit scan, and you could wig anyone from across the map. So I don't want them as boring as like MW2 explosive ammo, like 700 meter per second, bow and arrow equivalent, like lobbing shots. But hopefully they find the balance, because the HDR is like my favorite gun of all time. Veterans of Verdansk know the power of the HDR and the havoc can inflict when stationed in a high vantage point. The weapon's long reach and heavy damage makes it a favorite of sharpshooters. Its distinctive firing sound sends squads running. Add the reinforced barrel attachment to further extend your damage range and bullet velocity, and don't forget to hold your breath for difficult shots. So traditionally, the way the game works right now is you'll have a one-shot headshot range of, let's say, 100 meters. And then you add high grain rounds that increase it by 20%. So now you have a one-shot headshot range of 120 meters. And then you add a barrel that maybe adds another 50%. So then you have a one-shot headshot range of like 170. I don't know what they're going to do here, but it makes it sound like is one-shot headshot at all range? We'll have to find out. Cali sticks. I have trauma. Take down your target in a flash. Smack them with a fast follow-up hits using the weapon's light attack, or take them out in a more dramatic fashion by unleashing the heavy attack. no, no, no. Oh, I really hope the 2-hit kill is only for, I pray the 2-hit kill is only for multiplayer. Because these are going to be added inside of Black Ops 6. If this is 2 hits to 150 health, I'm gonna lose it. Then again, I haven't seen anything about riot shields being in the game, so we'll see. So as we mentioned, April 2nd, 9 a.m. is going to be whenever the Black Ops 6 multiplayer launch is available, so you can upgrade that stuff early. 9 a.m. Pacific is when Warzone launches across all platforms. Awesome. There'll be a 24-hour countdown starting at April 2nd at 9:01 a.m. Use these 24 hours wisely. It's the best time to level up your preferred weapons. You can obtain the kilo, as we mentioned, and get in the proper grind set. Welcome home. 8:45 to 9 a.m. is when they're going to launch. Good old Verdansk. Wow. They also got some swag. You can check that out, or you can, keep an eye out for the IceManIsaac merch. We got some really cool merch coming here as part of the Verdansk drop. Let me do a quick Control F. No information on the riot shield on this whole thing. Wow, that was a lot to cover. Okay, comment down below if there's anything that you're really excited about. Anything that you're unsure about that they still haven't addressed. I might have a video coming later in the week talking about some of the things that I still want to see change that I haven't seen addressed in this. We obviously have a lot of great news when it comes to things like LTMs, when it comes to things like returning features, things like the vehicles becoming better visibility across the map. So many really cool quality of life improvements that some of those I hadn't even thought about that were like really, really impressive. I really hope they keep the visuals clean. Get rid of a lot of that smoke, that haze. Hopefully the movement still feels cracked, but is a little bit more controllable. I'm so glad they got rid of gas grenades. They got rid of neurogas. They got rid of impact grenades. There's so many things that were just absolute W changes throughout this. I mean, I can't remember too many things reading through this that I wasn't thrilled to hear about. So it seems like a true return to form. We're going to have to see how those movement changes feel. But since so many other things thematically and like philosophically are returning to a more grounded battle royale, it makes sense. I hate all the animations and penalties that we have in the game right now because the game is so arcadey and fast and crazy. But if we're going to ground the game again, now it makes a little bit more sense. So that is a wrap up of everything that we know about Warzone coming in less than a week. Do me a favor, drop a like on this video, subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things from the best metas, from new things that are coming to the game. Obviously, I'm going to have live streams here as well. Of course, you're going to want all sorts of Warzone Academy guides that are going to be coming up as well. Join me live over on Twitch if you guys want to. We've had some insane streams the last few months. We had a huge off the grid tournament that we just won. We just won a big $100,000 PUBG tournament, and now we're heading into more Warzone tournaments. We've had a crazy string of wins in Warzone tournaments this last year. It's been a lot of fun streaming over on Twitch. I'm super excited for the future of Warzone. I keep it real with you guys. The last 2 years, I've been posting videos less because I haven't been enjoying the game as much, and I've been very open and critical about the direction the game has been heading. But man, after taking a look at all this, I really think they finally are headed in a good direction and not backtracking. It's always 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but I'm having fun. I'm enjoying Warzone, and I am so damn excited to be back on Verdansk. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this Yap session. Hope you guys are excited for the future of Verdansk. Comment down below what your thoughts are on everything that we found out today. A huge shout out again to Fume for sponsoring today's video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.